Have you ever wondered why the loudest person in the room is often the one with the least amount of real influence? In a world that never stops talking, where everyone is shouting to be heard, there is a hidden, almost lethal power in saying absolutely nothing at all. Silence isn't just the absence of sound, it is a strategic vacuum that forces others to fill the void. But how exactly can you harness this void to gain the upper hand in every interaction? The truth is, most people are terrified of silence. They find it awkward, heavy, and revealing. When you master the art of the pause, you aren't just being quiet, you are building a psychological fortress. Think about the last time you felt the urge to over-explain yourself. Why did you do it? It was likely out of a subconscious need for approval. But what if you stopped? What if, instead of filling the air with excuses, you simply let your gaze do the talking? By the end of this, you will understand why the most dangerous person in any room is the one who knows exactly when to shut up. Most people think that to be powerful, you must be assertive, vocal, and dominant. But real power operates in the shadows. Have you noticed how people tend to babble when they are nervous? They reveal their secrets, their insecurities, and their plans just to break the tension of a quiet moment. This is the first rule of tactical silence: let others do the work for you. When you remain silent, you become a mirror. People will project their own fears and desires onto you, effectively giving you the blueprint to their mind without you having to ask a single question. But wait, there is a specific type of silence that can actually make people trust you more. Do you know which one it is? It's the silence of the listener. Most people listen only to respond, but a master of manipulation listens to understand the weaknesses hidden behind the words. By withholding your reaction, you maintain total control over the emotional temperature of the conversation. Let's talk about the unpredictability factor. When you speak constantly, people can map your thoughts. They know your triggers, your opinions, and your next move. You become a solved puzzle. However, a person who speaks sparingly is an enigma. In the courts of the Renaissance, the most feared advisors were those whose expressions never changed and whose words were measured like gold. If they can't predict you, they can't manipulate you. But there is a darker side to this. Silence can be used as a weapon of intimidation. Imagine a negotiation where you make an offer and then simply stop talking. The other person will feel an agonizing pressure to speak, often conceding more than they intended just to end the discomfort. Did you know that the human brain treats social silence similarly to physical pain? This is why it is such a potent tool. You aren't just waiting, you are applying psychological pressure. To transform yourself into a master of this craft, you must first conquer your own ego. The ego wants to be right, it wants to be seen. It wants to brag about its achievements. A master knows that information is the ultimate currency, and every time you speak, you are spending it. Every time you listen, you are earning it. But how do you handle someone who tries to use silence against you? The answer lies in the counter void. If someone tries to freeze you out, the worst thing you can do is scramble to please them. Instead, you must lean into the silence. Show them that their weapon has no edge against you. This creates a fascinating dynamic where the person trying to control you suddenly feels out of control. It's a high-stakes game of psychological chicken, and the one who blinks, or speaks, first, loses. But what happens when silence is used not to intimidate, but to seduce? In the realm of personal relationships, silence creates an irresistible aura of mystery. It draws people in. When you don't reveal everything at once, you force the other person to use their imagination. And the imagination is always more vivid than reality. You become a canvas upon which they paint their ideal version of you. This is how the most charismatic figures in history maintained their allure. They were never fully known. They were always slightly out of reach. But be careful, there is a fine line between being mysterious and being perceived as cold or untrustworthy. The key is the warm pause, a silence accompanied by a subtle, knowing smile. This tells the other person that you are present, but you are choosing what to reveal. It's a display of supreme self-regulation. Do you have the discipline to hold back your best stories just to keep them wanting more? As you begin to implement these strategies, you will notice a shift in how the world perceives you. People will start to weigh your words more heavily. When you finally do speak, your voice will carry the authority of a king's decree rather than the chatter of a commoner. You will find that you have more energy, as you are no longer wasting it on pointless arguments. You will see through the masks that others wear, because you are no longer distracted by the sound of your own voice. The deadly power of silence is not about being a hermit or being shy, it is about the deliberate economy of expression. It is about knowing that your presence is felt most strongly when you aren't fighting for attention. The question remains, are you brave enough to stop talking and let the world reveal itself to you? True mastery begins the moment you realize that the most profound things are often left unsaid.